Good evening, good evening. Hello, Charlene, DB, Graham G. How's it, Graham? Me and you must still set up a meeting, mate. Didn't complete the Heart Me mission. Graham, I'm missing what you're saying to me, but yes, we must chat. We must just set up a time so that we can chat. I've got all the calculations, and I've been thinking maybe I should just do a voice note in the meantime with my own findings and send it on to you, but we'll see what happens. In any case, folks, I say how's it to everybody. I'm looking forward to tonight's live, and at the same time, I'm looking forward to tonight's sport. I don't know if you guys know, I mean, there's all the World Cup soccer on at the moment, so there's plenty of soccer. But tonight, the junior box are playing rugby in the World Cup under 20. And over and above them playing tonight, the South African women are in the T20 semi-final. So I'm pretty much keen on seeing that. So if I don't get enough questions, I might just go early to watch sport. Any guys. Good evening to those of you that are here so far. And please do not hesitate to put on your own questions. And let's see where tonight's questions takes us. And if you're wondering while I'm not looking at the screen, I'm actually looking on my TV to see on which channel the whatchamacallit is going to be tonight. I'm trying to see on which channel is going to be the cricket and the rugby. Greetings, it ain't over. Nice to see you. I made a reply video just the other day on you, or a comment that you made rather. I'm sure you must have seen that because I think I have put it on. Tian, goeienaand meneer Corneille. As ek mag vra, wat het meneer studeer? Ladies and gentlemen, Tian is asking, what did I study? Now Tian, I think this is going to shock you, my good man. I did not study. I only have matric, and when I left school, I went to the bank and I worked in the bank for 2.5 years. Then I became a full-time waiter. I was making so much money. Amazingly enough, making more money as a full-time waiter than what I was making as a bank admin clerk. And then I went and I joined Old Mutual, and I spent 5.5 years with Old Mutual as a broker consultant, and then I opened my own brokerage. So everything that I know is basically self-taught. Yes, I had to do a NQF5 qualification when it became law, when the FSCA or the FSB at that stage came into being. And I did my RE exams, my RE5, my RE1, but that's it. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't even think the course that I did to get my qualification is being offered these days. So my good sir, it is mainly, I'm just trying to get the light a bit better here, because I see the light is terrible tonight. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but in any case. So my good man, let's see if this is going to work. I did not study anything official, no degree, no diploma, just matric and many years of experience. The one thing that gets neglected these days, or not being recognized, if I could put it that way. So folks, I do apologize if the light is not lekker. I'm not sure what I'm doing right or wrong here. I never seem to have such a battle getting everything sorted. Maybe if I do it like this, yeah. And maybe the light is not troubling you, but it's troubling me because I'm battling to see the screen. Any case, there we go, Tian. Matric, my good man, matric. But must I say, Tian, I always say that people should educate themselves and they should learn and they should better themselves. I read a lot of books, okay? I've read a lot of books on finance, and I've read a lot of books on self-improvement and self-help and wealth, psychology, all of that. So I feel that sometimes that is more important than what a university degree or a financial diploma would be. Okay, there we go. Now you know that I'm an uneducated man, actually. Charlene, good evening. Welcome back to you. You say once you reach 55, can you still work and draw from an annuity? You can indeed do so, Charlene. So if you've got a retirement annuity, or I would assume a preservation fund from a previous company's pension or provident fund, the moment you turn 55, you can exercise the option to convert it into a life or living annuity. It doesn't matter the fact that you're still working. All that's going to happen is that, let's say you work for company A and you're earning 20,000 Rand a month, and let's say you're on a 26% tax bracket. The moment you start taking an income from your annuity, from your retirement annuity, whatever, you will obviously have another income. So now your income doubles from 20,000 to 40,000, and you'll go into a higher tax bracket. That's literally all that happens. Obviously, if you are working for a company where you have a pension or provident fund, you can't retire from that pension or provident fund to start getting an income and still work for the company. That you can't do. But the rest, all good. If you've got extra pension fund monies or retirement annuities, you can start drawing an income. Nothing that stops you. Might not always be the best idea, but you can do it. Lebo, Cornelia, I've got a huge amount of savings and I want to invest it. Okay, well, Lebo, perfect. If you've got a huge amount of savings that you want to invest, contact me. In my profile is my WhatsApp number. There's also our website. You're welcome to go to our website, which is heptagonc.com, or you're welcome to send me a WhatsApp, and myself or Mark Harris from our office will make contact with you and we'll set up an appointment with you. And then we will do some proper financial planning for you, and we will help you to invest that money. Do it with absolute pleasure. It ain't over says, yes, I did. I will get back to you on it, not in your fan club, but in your top 3, whatever that might mean. So it ain't over 100%. I see what you're saying. So you obviously saw the video that I replied to you. Perfect, man. Not in your fan club. I don't need you to be a fan. I need you to believe what I say. That's all I need. I need people to just believe what I say and then invest. Plan, invest, and get advice. Lebo says, which investment institution do you advise me to invest to? So Lebo, I see we're going to go through this again tonight. So I will not ever give anybody on an open platform like this any advice as to where they should invest their money, or even what type of product that they should use. For the plain and simple reason, I don't know your circumstances. I don't know a lot of things about you. I don't know if Lebo is married. I don't know if she's got children. I don't know how old she is. I don't know how many years to retirement, what the money is going to be used for, whether she's got other investment, whether she's got debt. I have absolutely no idea about you as an individual. Only once I understand you, only once I know more details about you and I understand what you want to invest for, how long you want to invest for, how much risk you're willing to take, what investment strategy we can follow for you, how much liquidity you need. Once we know all those things, your plans and dreams, then only can I say to you, okay, I recommend that you invest your money here, this company, that product, and so forth. But if I don't know that level, I can't even try and give you a recommendation. Like I always say to people, there's so many companies that are really good. Old Mutual, Sanlam, Momentum, Allan Gray, Marriott, Investec, 10X, Liberty, the list goes on and on. There's really a lot of very good companies. There are a lot of companies that I think is not so good, but there's a list of companies that I think is very good and can be trusted. Which company is going to be the one that you want to invest in? Well, that's very much going to depend on yourself, number one, because you have to have kind of faith in it. It's like buying a car. If you are a Toyota fan, it's going to be difficult to convince you to buy a Mazda or a Nissan, for example. So you have to believe and trust the company you want to invest in, and then secondly, the product that you have to invest in. So Lebo, there you go. Even if I wanted to give you advice tonight, can't. Only way I can give you advice tonight is if we actually go into a live discussion here and I do a live planning session for you. And that we don't want to do because we want that we don't want to do because we don't want to share all our private information with people. Graham G says education, QBE, qualified by experience. Graham, and you know, but we've known each other for long enough. 100%. I think a lot of people don't. I think especially younger people don't understand the value of experience. Honestly, I think the younger people don't experience. I have a lot of young advisors that's come through our company who I've given training to, who's gone co-attending with me, etc. And a lot of these young advisors has gone on to do different things in life. Some of them are still in the industry, some of them are with us. And the one thing I have seen is, I think something that happened when I was younger as well, is young people going from one company to another company, one type of job to another type of job, in search of what suits them best. And as long as you do it in search of what suits you best and what you like and to try and get the right fit for you, that's fine. But when you jump as a young person from company to company and job to job purely to try and get a higher income, then I'm not so keen. Then I don't think it's a good idea. And there is a lot of value in qualified by experience. Thanks, Graham. Thanks for the comment, mate. Tian, and really hard work. Absolutely, Tian. Absolutely. Last week we had a bit of a discussion because somebody said, yeah, yes, it's terrible. They've worked from the age of 25 to 55. It's 30 years. They want to retire now because it's just been too long. And I told the people that I actually started working when I was 12 years old. In school, I started delivering telegrams at the post office. And I have never not had a job. I have all of my school time, all of my years that I was in school, I did different part-time jobs to earn my own, what do they call it? Zakgeld. And from there, when I left school after the army, I have always been working. And if anybody has to complain about that, it's me. Because I've now been working for 40 years plus and I have no intention of retiring. So hard work, yes, it's hard, but man, it is so rewarding. Especially if you find what you love to do. If you start doing what you love to do and you enjoy it and you pour yourself into it, it is absolutely so rewarding that one day you get to be where I am or what my age is, and you don't actually want to stop working. You want to work less. You want to work less and take a bit more time off, but you don't want to stop working. It's just, there's too much fun in it actually. Okay, so Tian, because I don't know what you're referring to in terms of finance books, what finance books I recommend that you read. Go and read books by Dave Ramsey. Okay, Baby Steps Millionaire is one of them. There's two of them. That oak is brilliant when it comes to teaching people how to make sure you get yourself out of debt, keep out of debt, and slow, persistently become a multimillionaire. Go and read The Psychology of Money. And now I can't remember the author's name. Go and read The Millionaire Next Door. Gee whiz, hang on a second. When you ask me so quickly, then I can't think. Let me have a quick look here at a couple of books that I can recommend to you. Library, where are you? Ah, there we go. Baby Steps Millionaire by Dave Ramsey. The Algebra of Wealth by Scott Calloway. Let me just see, what can I give you else here? Sorry folks, don't mean to keep you waiting. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. $100 Million Offers by Alex Hormozi. What else? I've got a lot more and I can't find them now. I don't know, it's as if my brain doesn't want to work. But there is really a lot of books out there that are brilliant. I'm looking for one specifically that I cannot remember the name, but I know that I always tell people to go and listen to this specific book. And do you think I can find it now? It's like my brain just refuses now to give it to you. Let me see, maybe it's this one. Yeah, sorry, I wanted to give you one specifically now that I really think is great, and I just cannot seem to get it. It just wants to elude me. Any case, I'll see if I can pop up with it later on. Maybe I remember it. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Francois Talliard, okay, perhaps create a company and invoice the company for services rendered and draw your pension. Francois, perhaps create a company and invoice the company for services rendered and draw your pension. I guess you could do that, but I think that, Francois, what you're talking about is more for individuals that start their own businesses. It's proper business planning. Your average Joe that works for a salary is most probably never going to get to the point where they do something like that. But I agree with you, it just becomes the more technical stuff, especially when you start bringing trusts into the equation and stuff like that. Santon Boy says, if my tax is 42%, my tax will be 42% when I withdraw. I retire and withdraw, what is the tax rate? So Santon Boy, first of all, your tax rate might be 42% now, and it might even be 42% when you retire. If you withdraw, yes, it's going to be 42%, but remember, if you withdraw before retirement, it depends on how much you've got in your investment. So there's a small portion of the investment that's going to be tax-free. I think it's 27,500. And then on a sliding scale, it starts at 18%, goes up to 36%. And at the end of the day, depending on how big the investment amount is that you're withdrawing, you would be paying anything between 18% tax and 32% tax overall because of the sliding scale. But if you go into retirement, okay, then the situation changes, because now your 1/3 that you're going to withdraw, you've got your 550,000 tax free. Then you've got the same sliding scale, so you're again going to end up paying anything between 18% to about 31% on that lump sum, and not 42%. All depending on how big the lump sum is. And then on the actual income that you receive from your pension fund, you will start paying tax based on how much that income is. So if the income is small, and you fall in an 18% tax bracket, that's what you pay. If your income is large and the pension amount that you had is humongous and you're on a 45% tax bracket, then that's what you pay. So the tax that you pay in retirement on your pension fund income is not necessarily equal to the tax that you pay on your salary while you're working. It all depends on what the actual income is in retirement. So, my good sir, the tax rate is very much going to be dependent on that. And then, of course, it's dependent on your planning. One of the things that I normally say to people is that's where we come to the point where we have to plan your investments. Because if you've got a pension fund, for example, that is going to give you a 20,000 Rand per month income, it will put you in a tax bracket, 18% tax bracket, I think it is. If you then have a further income from, let's say, an endowment, and now it's after tax money, there's no tax payable on that. So effectively, you're actually getting 40,000 Rand per month income between your retirement annuity and your endowment, but you only pay tax on the 20,000 Rand, which is in the 18% tax bracket, but because you've planned your retirement so well, you end up only falling in a 9% tax bracket. That's why the investment planning is so important. Apostle Samantha says, how much is your consultation? So Apostle, I ask 1,950 Rand for my first consultation. I charge you this as a once off, and this could include just one meeting, but it could be 2 or 3 meetings depending on what we need to do. After that, I never charge you another consultation fee. After that, only if I implement any products for you will I then take commission or fees on that product, and as discussed with you. So I do have in my company 18 advisors now, and my advisors do not charge consultation fees. So I can always set you up with one of my advisors that can assist you. They are trained by me, they fall under my wing, they do as I say, they follow my rules and guidelines. So you are absolutely 100% welcome to set up an appointment with them. And in many occasions, people do set up appointments with them, and then I attend the meeting in any case for 5 or 10 minutes or the entire meeting to assist them if it's necessary. So there you go, sir. I ask a consultation fee, they don't, and my fee is 1,950 Rand. Francois, Sanford Boy depends on a lot of factors. Francois says, brother, what amount you planning on taking and your expectations? Thank you very much, Francois. I think that's basically what I said, but thank you in any case. It's always nice to see that there's other financially savvy people that can help people with a bit of advice. Great stuff. Lebo says she will WhatsApp me, or he will WhatsApp me. Thank you very much. I think it's she or he. Can't see. Picture's too small. And Lebo can go both ways. So I'm not being sexist, because my name is Corneille, and I know that my name also goes both ways, either male or female. Just so that you don't think that I'm picking on you, Lebo. Charlene says, is a life annuity for the rest of your life or for a fixed period? So a life annuity is for the rest of your life, Charlene, especially when that life annuity is bought with pension fund money. Then you buy what is called a guaranteed and lifelong thereafter income. So the income is guaranteed for a specific period of time, to say that if you pass away within this period of time, the insurer will still pay that income to whoever is your beneficiary until the end of that guaranteed period of time. So let's say it's a 10-year period of time, you pass away in year 5, insurer will keep on paying until the end of year 10. But the lifelong thereafter says that if you survive this 10-year period and you live for another 30 years, the insurer will forever and a day keep on paying that income to you until the end of that extra 30 years. So life annuity, fixed guaranteed period, but for the rest of your life. And then when it comes to the discretionary funds, that's where it's not in a pension fund. Well, then you can also buy a similar life annuity, but then it can go one of two ways. It can either be a lifelong or it can be for a fixed term. So voluntary funds, fixed term or lifelong, pension funds, always lifelong. Okay. So let's see who's next year. Robert Bobby says, I'm a young guy and yes, I agree. I prefer to work with a senior with years of experience. Robert, that is one of the things that I think that is sometimes lacking in our industry, I'm sorry to say. And I think that's part of the reason why we are battling to get youngsters into the industry, is that there's not enough senior financial advisors that's willing to take somebody under their wing and go attend meetings with them, ask the advisors to come and sit in on meetings that they're doing. And that is very, very important, especially for young financial advisors. It is extremely important to be exposed to that environment. Not only to learn how to give the financial advice, but also to learn how to deal with people, because our industry is very much a people industry. You have to be the type of person that can communicate with others. So yes, I agree with what you say there. Stan Man, what is the best option currently if you have 5K to invest per month? Stan Man, I'm going to tell you what I told somebody earlier. I cannot even try and give you an answer. I don't know what your circumstances is. I don't know what your income and expenses is. I don't know what your assets and liabilities is like. I don't know what your family situation is, how many beneficiaries you have, financial dependence. There's a lot of information I don't know. I don't know what products you have. I don't know if you've got an RA, a tax-free endowment, a unit trust. So it will be absolutely, what's the word? Now I can't get to do it. It will be very, very dangerous for me to try and advise you on 5,000 Rand a month on a call such as TikTok Live. I cannot do that unless I have actually had a consultation with you, understand your circumstances, know what you want to do and accomplish, what you have and don't have, and only then can I advise you as to what you should do with your 5,000 Rand a month. The one thing I always tell people, okay, is the most important thing is to start investing or start saving. If you have not done any financial planning for yourself or research or seen a financial advisor, take your 5,000 Rand a month and put it into the bank. Even if you put it into a savings account, that's fine. I'm not the biggest fan of savings accounts. But give yourself time. The important thing is you have to learn to start putting that money away. So if you start putting it into a savings account, whether it's going to take you another month, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, before you go and see a financial advisor or before you finish with your own research or whatever the case might be, at least what you have learned in that period that you've put away your 5,000 Rand is you've financially disciplined yourself to put that money away on a monthly basis. If you then get to the end of that 1 month, 3 months, 6 months or 12-month period and you've now finished your research or you've spoken to a financial advisor, you can then transfer that money into the investment that is best suited for you. And I promise you, because it's such a short period that you have done the investment in, and maybe even in the incorrect type of investment, it's really not going to have a major effect on the long-term wealth that you're building. Because the most important thing with investment is starting and consistency. Start and consistently put the money away. So stand man, start investing that money or start saving it, and then you contact me on the WhatsApp number that we have or on our website, and we can set up an appointment for you with either myself or one of my advisors, okay? NNN says, is it possible to discuss and educate us on EAC and how to know the best, Corneille? So NNN, I think, yeah, okay, let me try and explain to you EAC from my perspective. I honestly think that some people pay too much attention to EAC. But EAC is your estimate annual costing. Okay, that's the first thing. So what is effective annual costing? Effective annual costing is basically the investment that you're doing and all the fees that are charged on that investment. So when you do a quotation for a client or a presentation for a client, on the documents it will say the EAC on this product is so much over 1 year, so much over 3 years, so much over 5 years, 10 years, etc. And then it will tell you in the EAC consists out of the advisor's fee, the portfolio manager fee, the admin fee, the company fee, whatever. Not everybody has the same terminology. So let's say, for example, that on an EAC, it says that the EAC on the first year is big. It's 5.5%, okay? And it says there that the portfolio manager's fee is 2%. Then it means that that portfolio manager where you're investing your money, that portfolio, that manager is charging 2%. Okay. The other 3% is made up of the advisor's fee and the company's fee, etc. Then it says that's 5% in year 1. Over year 3, it's 3% for argument's sake, and over year 5, it's 2.8% or 2.4%. So basically what it comes down to is the company says to you, okay, in the beginning, the cost is the most if you are going to withdraw within the first year. So if you invest your money and you withdraw within the first 12 months, the overall cost is basically going to be 5%. And you're going to walk away after paying 5%. But it's because in the first year, the initial advisor fee, let's say the advisor chose a 3% upfront fee. So in the first year, if you withdraw your money, that 3% is not payable back by the advisor to your investment. Over a 3-year period, now that EAC has come down to say 3%, plain and simple reason, that 3% that the advisor took right at the beginning has now been spread in terms of that cost. Is not just in the first year, it's been spread over 3 years. So it's actually reduced the actual costing on a year-to-year basis. So if you withdraw the money now in year 3, your effective costing on that investment would have been 3%. So you would be 2% better off than in year 1. And then in year 5, let's say it's 2.5%, same thing. So the initial cost that's created, that big initial EAC, gets worked out over time, and then in the long run, you don't feel it. It's just if you withdraw in the short run that it really affects you. So that's how the EAC works. It's more to say that if you do not leave your investment as intended for a long period of time, you are going to be penalized because we're going to take more cost. But here's the other thing that people don't always see with the EAC. Let's go back to the year 1 situation. If the fund, the portfolio that you invest in, the portfolio manager's fee is 2%, okay? So your total fee is 5%, but the portfolio manager's fee is 2%. Now you invested in a fund that gives a return of, let's say, 10%. That 10% that is declared is after the 2% has already been taken off. So that does not affect you because it comes out, the portfolio has already taken it off before it gave the 10%. So where you are affected is with that remaining 3% that the insurer says, well, in year 1, we had to pay the advisor and you had to pay us for what we're doing and our admin fee and everything. So 10% is declared, 2% you don't have to worry about because that was already taken off, but we are now going to take the other 3%. So in year 2, 3, 4, etc., every time they're going to go back, and let's go to year 3 that I talked about. So in year 3, it says, okay, the cost is 3%, the EAC, but 2% once again is still that portfolio fee, and that's been taken off whatever the growth was. So let's say once again the growth has been 10%. So the effective fee on you now is only 1%. So the portfolio declaration of 10% leaves you effectively with a 9% return on investment, because the 2% was taken off upfront and the other 1% now comes out of it. So I think that's what people need to understand when it comes to EAC. You must understand, when you take out an investment, that first year's EAC is almost of absolutely no relevance if your intention is to do a long-term investment, because over the long term it's not going to affect you. But if you are going to invest and you say, listen, I'm going to invest for 5 years or 7 years or 10 years, but you know that you might just withdraw the money within 12 months, well, then that EAC is really of importance. But if not, not a problem. You will see with most investments, if you look at it over the long term, all of them then starts going to like 1.9 to about 2.8% that the EAC is. So over the long term, it's not that heavy. And then every time you have to remember, I have to take off the portfolio fee because that's already been deducted. Okay, so Triple N, that was a bit of a long explanation. And I don't know if everybody appreciated it, but I'm glad that you asked the question. I hope it helped. Allowance. Thanks, Francois. It's a bit late to help me with allowance now, but thank you. Yes, I worked for my allowance. Triple N says, Stanman, maybe 50% investing, 50%, yeah. Triple N, I've just given you this long explanation, and then you tell somebody to go and invest with Easy Equities instead of with me. How? Having said that, do yourself a favor, folks. Easy Equities is one of the platforms where you invest directly. Nobody advises you, nobody gives you guidance. You have to make your own decisions, and if it's wrong, it's wrong. You pay the penalty. Do yourself a favor and go and have a look at the cost of Easy Equities versus the cost of doing an investment via an advisor. And then you ask yourself, when you compare those two costs, is the advice fee that I have to pay, that everybody complains about, I don't want to pay advice fees, I don't want to pay the advisor, whatever the case might be. Go and decide for yourself if that difference between what a platform like Easy Equities charge and what you get charged if you make use of an advisor, if that's worth it doing everything yourself. Taking all the responsibility of the planning for yourself, the investing, everything. And all I'm saying is, let's say, for example, that you would have come to me and I would have shown you your EAC over 5 years and longer is like 2.4%. And if you do exactly the same thing with somebody like Easy Equities, and let's say it's 2% of them, and you save yourself 0.4%, is that 0.4%, number one, is that 0.4% worth it for you not to get advice and not to make use of somebody else? And I remember the other thing with the EAC that I explained. If I say my EAC is 2.4% over that period of time, the portfolio cost has already been taken off. If they say theirs is 2%, portfolio fee is not necessarily taken off, because remember, whether you invest with me through a Satrix S&P 500 or through them, you still have to pay the portfolio fee. So sometimes I think people should just think about how much advice is worth versus I don't want to pay anything, I want to get the cheapest whatever. Any case, UGC Lens, whatever. Thank you for the list. The Psychology of Money is also a great book. Yes, that's the one I was talking about. What was the other one? The one about, man, there is one specifically, and I don't know why it's now, hang on, let me see if I can do this while I'm talking to you. This might be a bit of a challenge for me to do, but I'll try and do it. and see if I can get you what I want to show you or what I want to show. Oh, shit, this might not be a good idea at all. For a second, everything disappeared there. Yeah, that's definitely not a good idea. Okay, don't do that again, Corey. I wanted to go and check something. Oopsie. Sorry, folks, I've missed a lot of comments here because I was trying to find something. Okay, well, let's go. It seems like I'm back on track here. And if we get to the end and I've answered everybody, I can quickly go back to that list of books. Lebo says, no stress, there are males and females. Thank you, Lebo. That's why I said, I just want to make sure you understand I'm not being sexist. But thank you. It makes me feel good when I have not offended somebody after I thought I had. Nats D, if someone has a work pension plus a separate RA by another company, what happens on retirement? It all depends on you, Nats. To be honest with you, it all depends on you because remember, it's two different products. You can choose at retirement whether you want to retire from your pension fund alone, or if you want to retire from your retirement annuity, or if you want to retire from both of them together. You can choose, as a matter of fact, while you're working to start getting money from the retirement annuity if you're older than 55. So all the rules stay the same. And basically what you can do is stop thinking about it as having two pension funds, because you've got the pension fund at work and you've got your retirement annuity that is in your personal capacity. Stop thinking of your pension provision as two separate investments. Start thinking of it as one big amount of money, and I need to plan with my big amount of money what I'm going to do in retirement. So absolutely nothing happens from I have to do this or I have to do that situation. It's all 100% up to you when you start retiring from these two investments and how you retire from these two investments. Okay, Nats, I hope that answers it, but if it doesn't answer it, please pop us another one quickly here in the chat. Excuse me. Adil says, does financial advisors only do investments into listed products? Sorry. Not necessarily, Adil. Not necessarily, Adil. It depends on the licensing that the financial advisor has. You get licensed for different products with the FSCA. And if you apply for licensing, they will tell you what you need in terms of qualifications and knowledge, and then you can start selling it. So some financial advisors only sell the listed products, as you call them, with the standard financial companies. But some financial advisors buy and sell shares. Some of them are into hedge funds, some of them are into forex, some of them are into alternative investments. I've heard of financial advisors that are into buying and selling gold. So it really depends on the type of financial advisor you're dealing with, and then what their qualifications is and what their, well, I suppose their liking is, if I can put it that way. Some of them can even sell property products and bank products. So it really depends on what that person is qualified to do and what they are registered to do. That's the important thing. Are they licensed and registered to sell a certain product? Yo. Triple N, thank you very much. I hope that explanation actually makes sense. Normally when I have to try and explain the EAC to people, I have a piece of paper and I'm showing them on a piece of paper. I always joke with my clients and say, listen here, I always joke with my clients and I say to them, I'm writing so that I understand, not you, okay, so don't worry. Bean, I'm 55 years old with GPF and 31 years of service in public, can I retire now? Ben, if I'm not mistaken, you made a different comment which I made a video on today. Whether I posted it today, I'm not sure. So, can you retire with 31 years experience or 31 years in your back pocket from the GPF? I don't know. Only you can answer that question, because remember, your GPF is calculated on a formula. There is no set fund amount that one can go and work out different types of investments like life and living annuities. Your GPF works absolutely on a formula. What you can do is you can contact your HR department or the GPF directly, and you can ask them for a projection document. So this document that they will give you will show you everything. It will show you if you resign now and you want to move your money to a preservation fund to withdraw it, what the value is. It will show you that if you take early retirement, like you are now at the age of 55, how much you're going to get as your 1/3 and how much you're going to get as a monthly income. It will show you what your actual lump sum is going to be at your actual retirement and your income. So get that document so that you can see what your values are. And then once you have the document, then you can actually plan based on the figures that they give, whether there is enough or not. As a matter of fact, what I would actually recommend is that you maybe plan beforehand and you say, listen here, based on my current situation, in terms of debt and expenses and whatever, I need X a month to survive on, or I need X a month to have a comfortable retirement. Go and work that out. Then you ask the GPF for that document, and then you make a decision based on that. But now this is the one thing. If you work out that, let's say you need 10,000 Rand a month as a monthly income, okay? And I'm just thumb sucking something out. Let's say you need 10,000 Rand and you ask this document from the GPF, and the GPF says to you, okay, well, if you go on early retirement now, we'll give you 11,000 Rand as a monthly pension. That does not necessarily mean that you can actually retire. And why am I saying that? Because our inflation in South Africa currently is very low. It's like 4.2 or 4.8%, but sometimes it's 5 or 6%. So you would need a income increase yearly of approximately 5 to 6% in order to have sufficient buying power later in life to still be able to sustain your lifestyle. GPF annual increases is 3.5%. So if you start with an income of 11,000, you need 10,000 Rand, it's going to be sufficient for a few years, and then it's not going to be enough anymore, because the increase does not keep pace with inflation. So that's where the planning comes in. You can see that you're going to earn more, or that you're going to earn enough, but you have to plan if that is going to be sufficient for the next 20, 30, 40 years, whatever your life expectancy is. So get that, and then do the planning. And if you need somebody to help with the planning, let me know. I've got a couple of guys with me that's very good with GPF, and they can help you with the planning, and then you make a decision. But don't just retire because you're 55. If the job is not too bad, stick around. You're going to get bored very quickly at home, eh? I know people say that it's not true, I've got plenty to do. Trust me, I have seen numerous people who have retired at the age of 55, and then they sit at home and they've got nothing to do, and 21, 22 years later they still have nothing to do, and they have had absolutely no joy in life. So sad. Please explain the term drawdown on different investment funds. So drawdown is normally in relation to the income that you are going to draw down. Okay? I'm not going to go into drawdown when it comes to investment growth now. I'm just going to talk about drawdown in terms of income. So if you have an investment, whether it's a living annuity or a unit trust or a endowment that's come to maturity, and you want to start taking an income from that product, you can choose what percentage you want as an income. So let's say you've got R1,000,000 in your investment and you want 100,000 Rand per year, you can draw down 10%. So that's your drawdown. It's the percentage that you are going to draw as an income. So you've got R1,000,000, you're going to draw 10%, 100,000. Whether you're going to take it on an annual basis, on a monthly basis, really doesn't matter. But that's the drawdown. The drawdown is the amount of money or the percentage of income that you're taking from that investment. And then that drawdown always is a determining factor as to how long your capital is going to last. Because if your drawdown is too big and the growth that you get on your investment is less than the drawdown, then your capital reduces. So just to use the same explanation, let's say you've got R1,000,000, you draw down 10%, 100,000, but the growth you get is only 5%. Then next year, million minus 100,000 income plus 50,000 growth, you end up with 950,000 Rand. So this means that if you keep on doing that at 10%, your income starts reducing from the second year and your capital starts reducing. If you increase the drawdown again, because you still need that 100,000 or more, then you take 12% as a drawdown, for example, and your capital is going to reduce even quicker. And that is the drawdown when it comes to investments. Great stuff. Thanks, Nats, for the confirmation. Let's see. Urine. If I take 1/3 of my preservation fund at age 55, how much tax will I pay on it? So, Urine, the amount of tax you're going to pay is going to depend on how big that lump sum is. If your lump sum is 550,000 Rand and you've never taken any money from any other pension, provident funds or retirement annuities, then it will be tax-free. First 550,000 of your 1/3 is tax-free. The next 220,000 is taxed at 18%. Then the next 350,000 is taxed at 27%. And then anything above that is taxed at 36%. So the tax is going to be determined by how big that lump sum is. And because it differs depending on the size, it's not a straightforward, I can tell you, okay, the average tax is 27%. It's really going to depend on how big your lump sum is. Okay, Urine, I hope that answers it. I think I made a reply video on one of your comments today as well, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see who's next here. Dion says, hi, hope you're well. Can I be a financial advisor without experience? Is it better to join PFA? Dion, yes, you can be a financial advisor without experience. I mean, that's how everybody starts in the business. They have to learn and they have to start somewhere. So you can. Is PFA the best place to join? I don't know, because it's one of those things of different strokes for different folks. Okay? And when I say different strokes for different folks, I understand how PFA works. I know the schools that they put you through, the risk school, the investment school, the system school. I understand all the learning material they give you. I understand that they have to put you under supervision and they have to have a senior advisor that helps you, once again, with things like co-attendance, etc. Whether the coaching that they give you, the schools that they put you on, is enough, and if the senior that they've given you is good enough when it comes to co-attendance, that's going to depend on, I suppose, the luck of the draw. So what I would think is, for somebody like yourself, you might want to rather speak to different companies to find out what they offer, because some companies' training programs are definitely better than other companies' training programs. And some companies' supervision programs is better than other companies' supervision programs. So I think PFA is very good, but you need to understand what they offer in terms of training, and you need to understand how they work in terms of commission and salary payments. And then you have to be able to compare it to other companies. The one thing I can tell you about PFA and all the other companies that has their own direct sales force is they obviously all try and make it sound like they are the best. And it's very, very difficult for me to be objective and to say, listen, PFA is better than this company or that company or that company. So Dion, investigate it, but you're also welcome to send me a WhatsApp and then have a chat with me one day. I'll gladly set up a coffee with you and discuss it in more detail, because I'd love to see new financial advisors coming into our industry. We really need more of you, or more of them. MC says, is it true if you retire you get paid half of what you earned? No, MC, it is not true. And the reason why I say it's not true, MC, it really depends on how much you've saved, how long you've been with the company. In the last 3 months, I have dealt with numerous people that retired from the GPF, okay? And other companies as well. 4 of the GPF members that I've dealt with that's retired in the last 3 months are getting a bigger income now than what they were getting when they were working, because they were with the GPF from a very early age, from the age of like 18 when they came out of school, and they now retire at the age of 60, so it's 42 years, okay? But if you have been with a company, even the GPF, and you've only been with them for 5 or 10 years, you've only accumulated enough capital or capital for 5 or 10 years. So if you are going to retire, you might only retire with 10 or 15% of what your income was. Because at the end of the day, it's not the fact that you belong to a pension fund or provident fund, it's how long you have belonged to that fund, how much it has grown, how the formula is working in your favor or not in your favor. That determines what you will get at retirement. So no, it's definitely not as straightforward as you will get 50% of what you earn. Okay, MC, hope it helps, and really speak to somebody if you need more advice. Vickers du Plessis says, hi Corrine, ek geniet jou content en raad, baie dankie daarvoor, jy is daarom 'n geduldige. Thanks Vickers. And I'm not sure that my family and my colleagues will always say that, but thank you very much. I appreciate the comment and the compliment. Bean, I thank you, sir, for your advice. I'll take it 100%. Bean, you do so. Ladies and gents, I see the box has started playing. It's 5-all, and it's almost 7 o'clock, so I'm just about ready to say goodbye to you guys so that I can watch the rest of the box game. Okay, Rashidi says, what are the different options available for the remaining 2/3 in a retirement annuity? Rashidi, there is so many different options. Okay. First of all, you can do a living annuity where you invest the money into a portfolio, you get growth on it, you draw a specific percentage income, and as long as the percentage income you draw is less than the percentage growth that you get, your living annuity will keep on increasing and give you money forever and a day. Second option is you can have a guaranteed income where you choose a specific income with specific increases, and the company says, okay, this is what I'll pay you for the rest of your life, and then your funds go into a guaranteed income and you get guaranteed income for the rest of your life with increases and everything, but you won't necessarily be able to leave the money behind for beneficiaries. Then you get an option where you can choose such a guaranteed income again, but together with it a life cover policy that will make sure that if you pass away, that capital that was invested, that original 2/3 capital was invested, is now paid out to your beneficiaries. And in between these 3 products or options that I've just explained to you now, there's hundreds of different combinations. Because when you do a living annuity, for example, you can choose any income between 2.5 and 17.5%. So depending on the income you're going to choose, depending on the portfolio you're going to choose and the growth you get, there's hundreds of variables in that product. And then, of course, the 3 products I've talked to you about now, you can do combinations of them. You can say, I want a portion living annuity and a portion life annuity. So Eroshini, there's really a lot to choose from. And I always say to people, make sure that you understand these products and that you understand how it works so that you can choose the best possible product or products for yourself. And that's again where the planning comes in. Okay, folks, I'm just about to sign off. I see there's quite a bit of questions, so let me run through them quickly. I'm going to give you quick fire answers now so that I can go and watch the box and have something to eat. Are you allowed to have more than one retirement annuity with different companies? Absolutely. You can have as many retirement annuities as you want with as many companies as you want. There's no limitation. It once again all comes down to the planning, because you want to take retirement annuities that benefits you, not only from growth and retirement in the future, but also from a tax perspective and rebates. And it doesn't help to have 10 retirement annuities and you are investing more than the rebates are, and you can't make use of other products that together with retirement annuities could give you a much better portfolio. Eroshni, I have just explained the difference between life and living annuities. That was the question. And yeah, Gavin, for a single person with no dependents, what product is available to receive the highest income? Gavin, that would be a living annuity, because you can there choose a portfolio like I said, and you can choose your own drawdown. I won't necessarily look at the highest income, because you can really shoot yourself in the foot. You can draw an income of 17.5%, which is the highest income you can get. But then if your portfolio only performs at 9%, your capital basically reduces by 8.5% per year. So Gavin, the question should not be what product can give me the highest income. The product should be which product is going to give me the best income for my personal situation. Okay, Gavin, I hope that answers it. Mad Max, will that wet op 55 sonder penalties met 38 diens incentive 500. Oh, Mad Max, you're talking about the GPF incentive that there is for early retirement? I've had a number of people that's retired with that. The incentive is good because it replaces the income that you are going to lose out on. There are small reasons that might not make it worth your while to take the early retirement, because you will lose out on any bonuses into the future, or 30th checks that you would have gotten that you don't get anymore. Your increases on your pension might not be it's not going to be as high as what it would have been while you were working. So once those factors has been taken into consideration, if the funds that you have, even with the penalty, is then still worth it, then you can do it. But yeah, once again, just run the numbers, or let a financial advisor that understand these things run the numbers for you. I've got Rowan Carolus with me, and I tell you one thing, I know a lot about GPF, but Rowan, yes, see that? Okay, he's built his own calculators and stuff on the GPF. He really has a lot of knowledge when it comes to GPF. Okay. Eroshni, funds in the RA are not accessible as fully as an investment like unit trust, so which option is best? Well, Eroshni, that's where the planning comes in. Funds in the RA is not as accessible, you're 100% right. But I tell you one thing, I think that 90% of people should have a retirement annuity, specifically not so that they can get access to everything, because if they got access to everything at retirement, they'll go and waste it, spend it, and then have to live off SASSA. So sometimes retirement annuities, except for the fact that it gives good growth and good rebates, tax rebates, is better from the point of view that the client is protected against themselves when it comes to actual retirement. The unit trust, the endowments, they all have a place, and that's what I keep on saying. If you want to have the best of all worlds, you plan with somebody that understands the tax implications as well as the growth on the investments and who can put together 2 or 3 or 4 investments to actually give you the best result at the end of the day. Some money here for liquidity, some money there for tax rebate, some money here for tax free, some money there for after tax money in the future. And once all of this comes together, magic. Wealth creation. Okay. PF Millet, verkies jy investering groter lamsam geld? Nee, PF, ek doen nie. Actually, ek hou daarvan om die geld wanneer ek dit ontvang, dadelik net te belê soos wat ek dit ontvang het. Investering dink ek is vir mense wat bekommerd is oor wat die markte gaan doen oor 'n kort periode van tyd. En ek is nie regtig baie bekommerd daaroor nie. Histories en ondervinding het nou vir my geleer dat selfs al bedoen jy 'n belegging hierso en hy val tot daarso die volgende maand met die herstelling wat daar kom in die mark, solank as wat jy net in jou belegging bly, dan gaan jy in elk geval die herstel sien en jy gaan nie die pynne voel van daai mark wat gedamp het nie. So nee, ek is nie 'n baie groot voorstander van investering nie, ek doen dit nie sommer nie. Okay, folks, I think that, yes, that's it. Thank you very much. I see TikTok has already told me that I'm 6 minutes over time. Thank you. As per usual, I really enjoyed my company with you guys. You are more than welcome to send me messages. In my profile is my WhatsApp number and my website. Contact us, ask questions. We try and answer everybody. We try and reply to everybody, and we try and set up appointments with everybody that needs it. You must have a fantastic time. Until I see you next week, keep well.